Hello, Forge of Empire fans, and hello to my guildmates. This video is going to go over the document that is the guide to building a settlement by Coletta, I'm sorry, I don't remember the spelling of his name and it's not in front of me. So I mispronounced it, but that's life. Okay, so we're looking at the first initial layout. But before we do that, let's look at the overview. So the overview says harvest needed to build the basic town setup, 9. Coin supply gain each harvest without the town hall. That's once the settlement is finished. Every 10 hours, you will get 215, 625 supplies and coins. Quantum shards costs, depending on impediments, between 350, if you don't have any impediments, and 435. And I believe, I'm not sure if this is for 2 expansions plus additional 100 shards to finish the availability of the goat farm and the first villa in, I think, harvest number 6. But anyway, so you need between 350 and let's say 500 shards, okay? If you have them, great. If you have more, even better. If you don't have them, then you can either buy them with diamonds, which I recommend, so you should have at least a 350, because you need a minimum of 2 expansions with shards to begin with. Otherwise, this particular guide doesn't work. Okay? Now, you can gain shards during the game, during the quantum incursion, in 2 ways. One, as a reward for attacking the node or donating to the node that you're at. Or number 2, every 30 points, you get rewards through the pass. And that is a good source of shards. Now, you can purchase the golden pass, I believe it's like $25, and that will more than triple your shards. Okay? But if you don't want to spend the money, that's your choice, not a problem. All right. Now, next, quantum actions. Okay, oops, there goes my phone is misbehaving. I really love this when he does it. Oh, okay. So between roughly 1.7 million. Okay, so quantum actions. You start out with 100,000. Every hour you get 5,000 unless you're already maxed at 100,000. You cannot gain more than 100,000 unless you use shards to buy them, in which case one time it will allow you, but the next hour it won't give you the 5,000 if you're still above 100,000. Okay, so next, possible progress, which means how many points will you get through this one particular quantum incursion? Between 470 to 940. How did he calculate that? Well, quantum actions, 100,000. It costs you 3,500 each time you either donate or attack a node or battle a node, okay? So roughly 49,000, 49 divided by 7 is 7, and 35 into 7 is 2, so you get 14 opportunities to earn either 1 or 2 points. And then double dot 49 times 2 is 98. Then you get 28 opportunities. So the maximum points you can gain is 28 times 2, 56, plus the 5,000 shards you gain every hour, plus any quantum actions that you win as a reward through either donations or attacking or battling a node. Okay? So that's a rough number. Now, you can buy extra quantum actions. You can buy 100,000 in one shot for 450 shards. And the second, in the 24-hour period, the price goes up to 610. And if you want to do the third time within a 24-hour period, price goes up to 830. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you're battling a node where you're gaining 2 points each time, it might be advantageous to you, especially if you purchase the Golden Pass, because the Golden Pass gives you a lot of shards as rewards and a lot of coins, special coins that we'll find out in the future how many of those will actually give you additional expansions to your settlement, not in quantum incursions, but in your regular gameplay. Eno has not released that information yet. We're all waiting for that. Okay. Now, when the town is finished, you may build each day 2 harvests. That's correct, because you have harvest every 10 hours. So you can, if you can set up your clock, you can gain 4 hours by doing it the minute it's ready, and then you will probably have issues with your sleep. The thing that he doesn't take into account is every 20 hours, your town hall will give you 10,000 coins and 10,000 supplies. And it's wise to collect on time so you get the maximum number of collections. It will only start again once you collected the 20-hour cycle. Now, once you have that particular settlement finished and you gain those 200,000 plus coins and supplies, you can use that to buy 1 triumphal arch and 9 decorations. Here I disagree. Not with what he's doing, but buying decorations. I would buy 1 aqueduct instead of 4 decorations, the victory pillar or the monument. The victory pillar and the monument are specifically for either red or blue, and you get 5% military boost. And if you buy 4 of them, 2 and 2 of each, you get 10% of each. So that if you are battling a blue node or you're battling a red node, you get 10%. The aqueduct is a better choice for 2 reasons. It's the same cost in terms of coins and supplies, but not in terms of euphoria that it uses. See, each decoration, the monument or the victory pillar, requires 75 euphoria. You need 4 of them to give you 10 and 10. Okay, so 4 of them cost you 300 euphoria. Now the Triumphal Arch can cover it because it's 625. But the aqueduct only takes 225 setting you 75 euphoria. The other reason to use the aqueduct, it's 3x1. The 4 individual monuments or the individual victory pillars take up 4 tiles. So you save 1 tile, and that becomes critical the further along you gain in your quantum incursion, because you run out of space real fast. So you have to set up your settlement in such a way that it maximizes your opportunity for placing the aqueducts, because it's a string of 3 in 1, so you don't have the flexibility of putting one in any empty space. An additional advantage, when you build it, you have to wait 10 hours for it to finish cooking, to be ready. But you can use 50 shards to instantly make it available, so instantly you gain those 10 plus 10% boost. And that can be critical, especially when you build 2 of them at once. That'll give you 20% now, instead of having to wait 10 hours. Now, sometimes your harvest is just before you go to sleep. In that case, go to sleep. Do not instantly spend the shards to make him ready, because you don't have the time to use them to fight, because you're going to need to sleep. All right. Having said that, you can buy 60 units or 30 units of ballistas, because ballistas cost twice as much as any other unit. I believe 10 units of each is like 17,000 for all units except ballistas, where it's 34,000. Or you can buy 100 goods instead of units, and 100 goods is you spend 21,000 coins and supplies for 20. So when you harvest 260,000, you have enough for 100 goods. So that's the overview, all right? Now, so when your leader for quantum incursions open up and gives you access to quantum incursions, first thing you do is go to your settlement, and you are given some supplies and some coins, so you can actually go ahead and build. And this is what you build, okay? You start out with 8 butchers, but before the butchers, you need 4 red roof tiles to give you the population to support the butchers. You need 9 spaces to connect your buildings to your town hall, and then you want to build 3 amphitheaters to cover the euphoria, so your productivity is at 150%, and that's the layout, okay? So if you look here, the 2 amphitheaters that you see next to each other, which both are actually touching the town hall, they don't need to, are taking the space of 2 expansions that you need to use shards to buy, because you don't have any goods or enough goods. You get 20 of each goods to do it to begin with. Now, sorry, my phone is acting up. If you have the extra shards, I recommend you buy a 3rd expansion. Eventually you will have 7 expansions total, 3 that you purchase with shards, 4 that you purchase with goods. Okay, now what do you do with that extra expansion? You put it right next to the amphitheater, that's the 2 of them, which with that one little black space that's touching the town hall. And once you buy that extra expansion, the 3rd one, at the beginning of the quantum incursion, I recommend you do the following. Buy 2 more roads, and then buy 2 more roof tile houses and place them so they connect to the town hall right now where it's black. Okay? I cannot physically alter the image and show you what to do it, but I can describe it for you. Once that is done, you just have to wait 10 hours. Now, for me, it's a problem. Why? I'm in Thailand. The quantum incursion starts at 7 p.m. and I usually set up my town within 15 to 20 minutes. So 10 hours later, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. If I can go to sleep, I go to sleep, set up my alarm. Hopefully the alarm wakes me up. But what I've been noticing, that I stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I harvest 5 o'clock in the morning, the first harvest, and then go to sleep. Okay, that's just me. For you, it's different, because for you, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. So your first harvest is, if you are in Eastern time zone, and then your first harvest is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Look, we're all work, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're probably commuting, whatever. I don't know what your time structure is like. I don't know what time zone you're in, so you have to adjust for it. But one of the things I do not like about this particular structure of quantum incursion is this 10-hour cycle, because it destroys my sleep pattern. But that's me. So here are the instructions in text of what to do. So now we go to the next harvest, the first actual harvest, okay? Now, this is once that harvest is complete. So here you see the green space where it used to be black. That's the third expansion, and this one was purchased with goods, okay? So let's look at the text. It tells you to do the harvest. Now, if you added that one expansion and those 2 roof tile houses that I recommend, you have to check your productivity, because your productivity now has, your euphoria doesn't cover those 2 extra 100 red roof tiles. So you need to delete them in order to bring your productivity up. But by spending the coins and supplies to buy those 2 extra ones, you gain a lot more coins by harvesting those 2 ones, then deleting them to bring back your productivity up to 150%, so you maximize your harvest. So first, let's deal with the harvest. You harvest, you get all those coins and supplies. You sell 1 butcher, and you build 1 cottage. You need the cottage because you don't have enough population to support the building of the goods building that will provide you with the goods. Okay? Now, once you build the cottage, you have to wait an hour until it's ready. It takes an hour for it, I don't know what the right word to use, percolate, cook, whatever. Anyway, once the cottage is ready, you sell an amphitheater, so you have the space to place the goods building. Now, the amphitheater is a 4x4. It doesn't matter which good building you use, with one exception. Don't use iron, because you will use this one particular goods building 1 time. Maybe on the last day or the next to the last day, you don't want to put it in again, And in that case, you'd want to use one of the other, the limestone and the ebony, both are goods building which take up 4x4. At the end of your quantum incursion, the last day or the day before last, you're going to be having space issues. So you want to use the iron for the second time you need a building. All right, now the first time you use, let's say, limestone, or you can use the jewelry or the cloth. Keep in mind, the cloth is the same shape as a ballista. The jewelry is the same shape as a tailor. So you might want to use one of those two. And now, getting back to our first harvest, you build the goods building. I recommend ebony or limestone or cloth or jewelry. And for sure you want iron to be your goods building, because it's a 3x3, and that will give you an extra space for an aqueduct. All right, so you build your building. You have to wait an hour before the building is ready, and then you buy 12 goods to supplement the 20 that you already have. That gives you 32. You only need 30 goods for your first expansion by paying goods. Your second goods expansion will be 60, the third will be 90, the fourth will be 130, and the fifth, I don't know if you want to go that far, will be 180, I believe. Okay. So once you've got the goods and you got that third expansion, you sell the goods building, and we'll probably never buy that goods building again. And now you build a tailor, and you build a roof tile house, and again you build one amphitheater, because you need the euphoria to push up your productivity to 150%. Okay, now there was a glitch in the software in the first two iterations of quantum incursions. When you place a roof tile house or a cottage or even a villa, when it's finished cooking, it will actually provide you with the coins. I didn't recognize that glitch until later on, and then I noticed that when I would check my settlement that they had. Now the problem is, if 1 hour after you place the cottage and it's ready, and now you get back to it and you see that the cottage is ready and it actually has the coins, harvest it. Doesn't matter what your productivity is or percent, harvest it, because you're going to need 10 hours from now to harvest it again. Okay? If it isn't, don't worry about it. Maybe they fixed that glitch. Don't know. But it's something that I noticed. That will give you extra coins, which you actually can use. All right, so now here's the layout. Now the layout is changed from the previous one because you have different buildings. You've got a tailor, and notice the tailor is all the way on the bottom right corner. Okay? The amphitheaters are in the same place they were before. Most of the other buildings are in the same place. So you basically exchanged one butcher for a tailor. And I think you also have increased, you have one cottage, okay? Plus now you have, instead of having 4 roof tile houses like you did, and you actually have 5 roof tile houses. Now, because you have 5 roof tile houses and a cottage, when you are ready to harvest the next harvest, in 10 hours from now, you'll need to only harvest a roof tile house and immediately delete it to reduce your population so you can increase your productivity, so euphoria being generated by the 3 amphitheaters can cover it. Now, if you have that extra expansion, when you buy the first goods expansion, you'll have 4. So you can actually use a 4th amphitheater in that space. And that will cover your euphoria. So you don't need to sell the roof tile houses. Okay? It's just a thought. So that will generate extra coins for you and save you from deleting buildings that you later have to buy them back. Just a thought. Just an improvement on the original guide. Okay? The next, see, in the next harvest, oops, again, my phone is acting up, and I apologize for that. Okay, so here, you harvest 1 roof tile and sell it immediately. Check your productivity. If your productivity is at 150%, you don't need to sell it. If it's 120, you do, okay? And as it says here, once you sell it, you can build the extra amphitheater, and now that extra 4th amphitheater will give you enough euphoria to cover your productivity and bump it up to 150%. Okay? Now, harvest everything. Once you harvest everything, you sell 3 butchers, you build a Ballista camp. Again, like the goods building, you wait an hour for the Ballista camp to be ready, and when it's finished, you recruit 6 ballistas and sell the building because you don't need it anymore. And now you build 2 tailors, and you build 2 roof tile houses. Log in an hour later to check again, and here is the layout that he recommends. Now, where you see a black space, if you spend the extra shards, if you have them, then you now have space over there, so you can actually move one of the amphitheaters to the right, so you have that space that's touching your town hall. And by the way, notice that he moved the town hall between the previous layout and this layout. So in each layout, after each harvest, he moves the buildings. Pay attention to the buildings when they're moved, and before you build the new buildings, rearrange your settlement so you have the space to follow the guide, okay? Because if you build the buildings, you don't have the space to move them around, okay? Just a tip. So once you sell out the Ballista camp and you build the 2 tailors again, you have this layout, and you wait another 10 hours for the next harvest. Again, sell the 2 roof tile houses. You might have an extra 3rd or 4th because you placed your extra roof tile houses. So always check your productivity, and only sell the roof tile house if your productivity is below 150%. Now, you harvest once you reach 150%, you harvest your entire buildings, all population buildings and productivity buildings. Now you sell 3 amphitheaters and you build 1 triumphal arch. You build another cottage, you wait an hour, because you need the cottage to build 3 butches and 2 paths, okay? you don't have yet the space to build the tailors. Now, you might have the space to build the tailors if you have that extra expansion with that first shard, extra shard that you if you purchase the 3 expansions to begin with, you might actually get away with buying a tailor now instead of 3 butchers. But okay, so it depends. I don't know your circumstances, so I don't know what to say right now. Okay. The next harvest, okay, you notice on this harvest, he no longer has the extra roof tile house, so you don't need to. Again, always check your productivity, make sure it's at 150%. Now you sell the last amphitheater and you build another triumphal arch, you build another cottage, another path, and you let that cottage percolate until it's ready an hour later. And then this is your layout setup. Again, if you have that extra expansion, you can add some roof tile houses, rearrange the layout a little bit. See what I would do in this case. You see where he's got the tailor on the top next to the cottage, next to the 2 roads. You can bump it up a little bit, one space, and put a road at the corner of the town hall where it's touching the tailor, but since you have space to move the tailor up, you put 2 more roads to the right, and then you have space for 2 more roof tile houses for some extra coins. It's always good to have extra coins and extra supplies because there are nodes that require donations, and you can donate these extras and gain some valuable points at the ratio of 2 times, because whenever they ask for supplies or coins, one of which will give you twice as many points as the other. You just have to look for it. All right, then the next one. Again, you harvest, as I said before. My phone is really acting up. You know, I lost where I am supposed to be. Okay, so you harvest, you sell the 4 butchers, you build 1 cottage, 1 roof tile, and you build 4 tailors. Okay? And then hopefully you can gain them again, wait another 10 hours to the next harvest. Here, it's critical because here when you harvest, you sell the two roof tile houses plus 2 butchers. You build a villa and speed up the villa with 50 quantum shards. You build 1 goat farm, speed up the goat farm with 50 quantum shards. Now, if you don't have quantum shards to spend, it's okay. Wait 10 hours. They will be ready in 10 hours. Don't do the next step. Just harvest everything. All you lose is 10 hours. But you gain a lot of coins and supplies that you can use later on, either in donation or to buy extra goods or to buy extra units, okay? So it's not a big deal for that 10 hours, okay? That is if you're short on shards. And this is the layout that you set up here, okay? Again, he moved the town hall, he moved the buildings, all right? And again, if you have that extra expansion, you can add and rearrange your settlement to accommodate the extra rows that you need and the 2 extra roof tile houses. All right, now because you need to check your productivity and it's dropped to below 150%. You sell that roof tile house. If you had that extra expansion, you sell 3 of them. And once your productivity is up to 150%, you harvest. You sell your butcher and you build the other goods building. Now, if it's iron, not a problem because it's a 3x3 and a butcher is a 3x4. Okay? Wait an hour, and now you start building goods, and now you buy another expansion for 60 goods. This is the second expansion that you buy with goods. You build a triumphal arch, and you build another cottage, and you can build a military building, a ballista, or depending which choice of other units you decided to build, to have, you build the military building. If you have that extra expansion, you have room for both the goods building and the military buildings. Both military. If you have what I use, ballistas and arches, I have enough room with that extra expansion to have the iron goods building, the ballista, and the archer range. Okay? Ballista camp and archer range. All right. And now again, and that's the layout that he recommends. Probably the only one that works. Or keep in mind, any of these layouts can be flipped upside down or right to left. And the reason I say that is important because I actually flipped my layout right to left. Where you see in this particular layout, where you see the 2 triumphal arches on the right side at the top, I have them on the left side because right below those 2 triumphal arches, there's a space. Okay? Later on, that space is increased to having 2 rows. So, if you can see the next one, when you have 2 rows, if I add 1 expansion above it, and I place another 2 triumphal arches, it's a 3x1, so I have another layer of space, which is another room for another 2 or 4 aqueducts or 2 triumphal arches. And that space is crucial because that really gives me a tremendous advantage. In my quantum incursion, I cannot build an expansion on top of these 2 triumphal arches on the right side because I have a heavy rock there and it's not an impediment. Okay? So by placing it, by flipping my town right to left and it's being on the left side, yes, I can do that. It makes it a little bit more difficult. What I suggest you do is take a screenshot and use whatever program you have to flip that screenshot right to left, and then you can work from that as your guide. Okay, now we're just about finished. We have our last, and here's his last setup, okay? So his last setup, you see that the goat farm is all the way on the left. In mine, it will be on the right because it's flipped. Okay, and he's got 3 triumphal arches, and he's got 1, I guess, either ballista, the orange. It's either a goods building or a ballista. He's got it as a ballista. And that's it. And that's very simple, actually, all right? I've added my modifications. My basic modifications is, if you have the shards, build the extra expansions in the beginning. It'll give you an opportunity to build extra roof tile houses, which you have to remember to delete before the main harvest, because you got to keep your productivity at 150% at all times, because it makes a huge difference. Now, once this is all finished, you are going to need more expansions. So you're going to use 2 more expansions with goods. Okay, so here he's got 2 expansions with shards, 2 expansions with goods. In my version, I have another 3 expansions, 1 with shards and 2 with additional goods. If you look at some of my other videos, you can see that I have 15 to 18 aqueducts. And the last day or the next to last day, my military boost is over 200%. Keep in mind, I use one Forgotten Temple for 50% boost and one Tourney Grounds for 25% boost. Unfortunately, the way the game's set up, you need those boosts because your ballistas are very weak against horses. If you don't have the boost, you can get those horses with 2 shots. You can get those horses in 2 shots, you're going to lose ballistas, okay? So, that's it. I hope this helped you out. And if you have any questions, my guildmates know where to find me. They know what to ask. Bye for now.